Hi, I'm Oscar Fry. This time I would like to discuss how to deal with crises. I know it doesn't sound nice. We prefer to talk about other things, but we can't say that crises don't happen in our lives. Who has never been through a crisis? It is difficult to imagine that any adult person actually says that he or she has never had any moment of crisis. It just seems unavoidable. In our lives, we can expect today to live on the average until 80 years of age. If we make it to 80 years of age and we're still around, then it is reasonable to assume that we have been dealing at best with gradual physical deterioration. This systematic decline is the smoothest way. You take little blows every now and then, but you can handle them. You keep standing. The keen eye here sees that the pace of time passing by in your life is exactly at the rate of what most people can handle. So we can handle gradual change. But a crisis happens when there's a sudden system overload, when we can't handle what's on our plate. And this can happen to any one of us, at any time. In life, everyone is vulnerable at any moment. Even when you sleep, a personal disaster can occur. For example, a terrible disease, a serious accident, or any other unfortunate event can hit you really hard and set you back seriously. And if you come out of it, when you have that chance, perhaps somewhat diminished, you might find that your new physical reality, that is in itself already a terrible challenge, leaves no doubt that you can't go back and live the life you had before. So you kind of suffer a physical and a mental blow simultaneously. Imagine just how difficult that must be to deal with. So how do you cope with that? Although nobody can know for you, what can you do when something terrible overcomes you? It seems so difficult that we can ask ourselves, is there anything at all that we can do to overcome these tragic events in our life? The solution of a problem is always on a higher level. If the problem is on the physical level, then you must try to reason it out psychologically, within your mind. If you are suffering mentally, then you should try to take in spiritual wisdom to deepen your insight in life. And so, through understanding things better, one can try to accept, for example, the aging process and its consequences, by stating that it is unavoidable, a fact of life, and for everybody the same. And in this manner, try to calm your mind. When you have suffered a serious accident, or when you have been diagnosed with a terrible disease, or anything of that magnitude, then what do? Then what can you say? However difficult it can be to keep calm in the most difficult and challenging situations, I still believe that as long as there is life and that somebody is conscious, that even the toughest experience is an important part of your life experience. For things don't happen just like that. Nothing happens without a reason. You can go one step further even and say that even when a person is in a coma, the soul is blocked, trapped for a reason, still there, still linked to the physical body. Even when nothing appears to be going on, a lot might be happening. It's like that lake that's visibly very calm, also as if asleep, but you just don't know all that's going on beneath that surface you're looking at. So, even when you are diminished, nailed to a hospital bed, you can score. I have seen my own father do that so many times in the last month of his life. I was impressed and admired him for it, in pain and in difficulty, preparing tough questions to ask the medical staff about his own delicate situation, and at the same time being thankful for every glass of water given, and maintaining high standards of courtesy. That's power. I witnessed it. Yes, sadly, from my earthly point of view, but saw it too, at the same time, from a spiritual perspective. I am sure that his efforts were seen and noted, of being kind and respectful when you are struggling for your life. The toughest questions and situations you faced, the hardest decisions you face and make them often alone, in the lonely hours and moments. And those are also the moments that you can choose to transform misery into beauty. How? By choosing the noblest action, taking the highest path, perhaps the most difficult for you to do. But like this, you bring yourself one step closer to grace and bliss, to help from above. When I find myself in a challenging situation, I ask myself, what's the greatest risk in this situation? Then whatever I think that it is, I try to accept it. I don't say that I can, but I try to. I say to myself, you're here now, but from here things might go wrong here and there. If they do, then what do? I think, and I try to find a way to accept the most unfortunate outcome beforehand. Then I step in the situation, knowing what I might lose. And if I do, I already accepted it. It is not accepting defeat before the game even begins, no. It is reducing pressure or stress to a more manageable level. A level that doesn't incapacitate you, that allows you to put things in perspective, to be realistic. And then when you re-enter the situation, you still give it your best shot with reduced fear and so a better inner chemistry. If you look at an immediate life-threatening situation, then what can you do? You accept that you could die, because that might be real. But what can you do when you are in such a delicate position? First, you can, and most probably will, break down, even over and over again. But that's only normal, natural. Let it be, accept it. But when the overwhelming situation, overwhelming emotion seems to subside somewhat, you can say to yourself, I'm conscious. I can still think. My thoughts are my show now. My decisions are my act. This is what I can still control. This is my new job. And this is where I must concentrate on. This is where I am wanted to concentrate on. Because you are being watched, especially keenly observed when you are in difficulty. That's your prime time moment here above. Always when one is put in great distress, higher intelligence instantly knows, even before you do, and accompanies you from behind the veil, whether you know it or not. So even in difficulty, try to maintain the highest and noblest thoughts and the most beautiful actions, for they are in reality what you are, and are the symbolic fruits and flowers you bring with you when you finally go home to the here above. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. See you next time.